Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go through a little bit of a hip mobility exercise routine, a bit of a tutorial. What you can expect after doing this routine is a little bit of pain, tightness in the hips and lower back decrease, and also increased range of motion in through the hips as well. So if you're a desk worker, or if you're somebody who is on their feet all day and you're suffering from a sore lower back and sore hips, today's tutorial is aimed just to provide a little bit of pain relief. It only takes about 10 minutes today. We're going to keep it super simple, doesn't require any equipment. All you need is just a nice, comfortable spot. So just to begin, first exercise, what we're going to do, we're just going to start off with our feet about shoulder width apart and our hands behind us here. And all we're doing is just rolling from one side to the other. What you want to think about here is keeping a nice straight back the whole time and your chest up. You want to bring your knees down onto the floor, pausing for about a second or two before coming into the middle and repeating on the other side. Wonderful. Concentrating on our breath, and we're going to do this 2 more times. And one last time over onto the other side and dropping that one down. Perfect. After we've done that exercise, what we're going to do now is we're going to lie on our back with our arms off to the sides just here. We're going to have our heels somewhat close to our hips. Just to start off, what you want to concentrate on doing is pushing your pelvis forward. So you've got that nice straight back where your hands cannot go underneath your lower back. What that's going to do is going to initiate your glutes a little bit more, and it's going to offset your lower back impinging at the bottom, causing pain. So once we're in this position, we're going to come up, squeeze for 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to slowly lower ourselves back down, concentrating again on that breath. And we are going to repeat that again, coming up, squeezing. This is a very good exercise for posture and also increasing strength in through your glutes, and coming back down. So if you do have a little bit of lower back pain, this exercise right here can really offset that pain, getting our hips into correct alignment by really focusing on pushing our hips forward and coming back down. And we're going to do that one last time. So pushing up through our heels, squeezing up at the top for 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to slowly lower ourselves back down. And when we're back down on the floor, we're in prime position for the third exercise. We're going to bring our arms off to the side, bringing our feet into the middle. And what we're going to do from here is we are going to bring our knees off to the side, back into the middle, and then repeating on the other side. Alright, so this exercise right here, very good at offsetting pain in that lower back. It's going to help with our posture as well. You're going to feel that nice stretch at the bottom. You may even feel a little bit of a crack down through the spine. This is perfect to do as soon as we wake up in the morning, just to get in a little bit of blood flow in through the hips and the back. We're going to repeat this for 2 more times. And one last time, bringing our legs over into the middle and back down on the other side. Wonderful. While we're still on our back here, we are going to cross one leg over the other, so we have our ankle resting on our knee. And from here, we are just going to gently press on that leg, feeling that stretch in through the glute, in through the hips as well. So this is going to be a gentle stretch that we are going to really hold, really concentrating on that breath. we're gonna hold for 3, 2, and 1. After we've done that, we are now going to reach up, bringing our hands through the gap in our leg, laying back on the floor, and we are slowly going to pull our legs in towards our chest, feeling a nice stretch in through the glute. This can really help with our hip mobility. It frees up our lower back, decreasing pain and tension. You can make it a little bit harder by bringing your legs in a little bit closer towards your chest. You just want to feel a nice gentle stretch. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. We're safely going to reset back into the middle, and we're going to repeat those 2 exercises on the other side this time. So again, crossing our foot, bringing that supportive leg a little bit closer in towards our hips, and from here we are going to press gently on that knee, feeling that nice gentle stretch up through the glute and also up through that hip flexor as well. Concentrating on the breath as we hold for another 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. And just like before, coming up, threading the needle, grabbing the leg, and pulling in towards our chest, feeling that nice gentle stretch as we hold, concentrating on that breath. Another 10 seconds in this position. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. What we're going to do now is we are going to lie on our side, so turning ourselves around. We're going to have one leg positioned in a 90-degree angle and the other leg stretched back behind us. We're going to start with our supportive arm nice and straight. We're going to bring our other arm, resting it behind our head, and we're going to start off with page openers this time. Twisting, bringing ourselves off to the side, and then coming back through. Twisting, opening up through the lower back and that hip, and coming back through. Wonderful. Concentrating on that breath. If you want to take it to the next level and feel more of a stretch in through your lower back, you can change the variation of your leg, so you can bring your other leg over at 90 degrees. This is going to make it a little bit harder. You're going to feel more of a stretch in through your lower back, this variation. So just play around with the exercise here. See what feels good for you. Another 10 seconds on this exercise before we move on to the other side. Twisting. 3, 2, and 1. We're now going to swap to the other side. So coming back and over, bringing one leg across, keeping it at 90 degrees, and the other leg off behind us here. Starting with a hand on our head and twisting, opening up our chest, holding the bottom, and then coming back in and resetting. Twisting and opening, holding, and coming back into the middle. We're going to do this another 3 times on this side. Really taking advantage of that stretch at the bottom of the movement here. One last time. Opening and holding. and coming back in to the middle. Perfect. We're now going to transition into more of an upright position, bringing our feet in now. Depending on your hip mobility, you can bring your feet in a little bit closer towards your hips, but if you are struggling with a little bit of restriction in through your hips, you can have your feet a little bit further away. So once you find that nice, comfortable position, we're now going to concentrate about pushing our feet in, pressing them together, and we're now going to bring our knees down to the floor. So this is the butterfly stretch. Once you get down to the bottom, holding it for a few seconds, you want to relax, bring your knees back up, and see if you can bring your feet in a little bit closer. Pressing down, feeling that nice stretch in through your groin, and now coming back up here. You want to concentrate also keeping your chest up and your back nice and straight, holding that stretch, coming back up, and we're going to do that one last time. Coming down, holding, and coming back up. Very good exercise here just to unlock a little bit of your groin and also in through your hips. Also great strengthening exercise as well, because we are holding that isometric hold down at the bottom. So we are looking for strength and mobility with that exercise right there. We're now going to transition into frog pose. So how you want to do this exercise, you want to have your knees wide on the mat. Now again, depending on your hip mobility, it's going to determine how low you can get your hips down on the floor. Again, once you find that nice, comfortable position, we're now going to gradually come down onto our forearms. It is optional to have your feet tucked in, like what I'm doing, or to make this exercise a little bit harder, you can bring your legs more out into a 90-degree angle with your feet turned out. Once you're in this position here, we are just going to hold. You're going to feel a nice deep stretch in through your hips and also in through your groin. Holding for another 3 deep breaths here. So taking nice deep inhales and exhaling. And concentrating on that exhale. And as you exhale, see if you can push your knees out a little bit further. And one last breath. And exhaling. And while we're in this position right here, we're now going to turn it into frog rock. So we're now going to shift our hips forward and backwards right here. This is just going to add in a little bit of movement, a little bit of blood flow in through the hips. You may also find, depending on the position of your hips with this shift, you're going to feel different muscles in different areas stretch. As you bring your hips forward more, you're going to feel more of a stretch in through that hip flexor, and as you bring your hips back, you're going to feel the stretch more in through your glutes and your groin. We're going to repeat this one last time, rocking, and now we're going to come back. I forgot to mention, while we're doing this, you also want to make sure that you're keeping your back nice and straight as you do those movements. Coming back up now into all fours with our knees in together and our hands off to the side supporting our weight here. We're now going to transition into tabletop rocks. One of my favorite exercises just to offset a little bit of back pain. you want to try to get your hip down to the floor as you bring it off to the side. Great way just to improve a little bit of mobility. Gonna feel that nice deep stretch up and through that lower back and that hip as well. We're gonna keep repeating this for another 10 seconds, really taking our time at the bottom, taking advantage of that nice stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming out now into a Cossack position. We're going to keep our hand on the ground and our knee bent behind us. And with one leg outstretched, we are now going to think about turning our foot upward, where we feel a nice stretch in through the hamstring, holding, and then twisting that leg back down onto the floor. Repeating this exercise. This is a really good movement just to do interior and exterior rotation of the hip. It's going to add in a little bit of mobility, getting a little bit of blood flow in through the hip joint as well. This is a perfect exercise to do before you do any squatting movement, as it does help unlock the hip and also improve range of motion. We're going to do that one last time, holding up at the top and then coming back down, bringing our foot on the floor. Transitioning now onto the other side, twisting up, opening through that hamstring, holding the stretch, and now coming back down onto the floor. Twisting up and opening, feeling the stretch, and coming back down onto the floor. Concentrating on keeping your chest up and your back straight as you do these moves. And coming back down onto the floor. And we're going to do that one last time. Coming up, twisting, and coming back down onto the floor. Our final exercise that we're going to do is we're going to start in a seated position. We're going to cross one leg over the other. If you're suffering from tight glutes or you want to improve your hip mobility, you don't consider yourself to be too flexible, you can have your leg further out before bringing it back in. So once we're in position here, we are now going to bring our hamstring to our calf, and now we're going to slowly transition away from our front leg. Repeating these small rocking movements, you're going to feel a nice stretch in through the glute and also in through the hip. Concentrating also on that breath, keeping our back straight and our chest up with our hands back behind us, supporting our weight as we transition. 3, 2, and 1. We're now going to safely repeat that on the other side, so bringing that ankle, resting it on top of the knee, bringing our hamstring to our calf, and just like before, rocking backward and forwards. You want to hold each position for about 1 to 2 seconds before going back. Perfect. Another 10 seconds on this movement. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super basic, super simple hip and lower back mobility routine that you can be doing in the comfort of your own home that doesn't require any equipment. Hopefully after that routine, we feel a little bit better, our pain has decreased, or if you're just waking up out of bed, hopefully it has made us feel energized and relaxed, ready for us to start our day. If you like today's video, give it a like, share it to somebody who may also be in the same position as you. They want to improve their mobility and live a pain-free lifestyle. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.